Fellow auto detailers, welcome to the show that features interviews with today's most successful auto detailers. This is the Auto Detailing Podcast. Here's your host, Jimbo Balaam.
This week's episode is brought to you by Google AdWords for the modern auto detail business. Now, this is a course, and Google AdWords is something that I've been doing in my personal detailing business for quite some time now, and it's something that I've tweaked and condensed and studied, and I've worked the perfect model to make profitable Google ads. So Google ads can sometimes be, or paid advertising in general, can sometimes be a really scary thing to dive into. You're investing money, you're not sure what the outcome is going to be. But what I've done is developed a course outlining exactly how I run my personal Google ads, and I show you how you can do that too. So it leaves the guesswork out of it. You just are shown how to make profitable Google ads. So if you're interested in driving some serious traffic to your business, if you're looking at reaching new customers and you want to do it in kind of the modern approach to word-of-mouth marketing and taking advantage of the authority that Google offers and Google searching offers, because that's really what it comes down to, is taking advantage of the authority that Google offers you. And you could get the number one spot on the number one page for select keywords. If you're interested in this, and if you're interested in taking your business to the next level, head on over to autodetailingpodcast.com/Google. That's autodetailingpodcast.com/Google. Now back to the show. What's up, guys? It's Jimbo coming back for another episode. Wanted to give you guys kind of a piece of advice for those of you that are in the business of detailing and in the business of selling your services to other people, which, give yourself some credit, it's one of the hardest jobs in the world to sell yourself. And I didn't realize that for a long time until I was talking to my sister one day who works in corporate America, and we were talking about selling and sales positions and inside sales, outside sales, and all these kind of corporate lingo terms that get thrown around. But, you know, I was telling her that I'm better at selling other people or other people's products than selling my own self or my own products. And she told me, she goes, Jimbo, you have to remember, selling yourself or selling you is the hardest sales position there is. So I want to give you guys kind of a word of encouragement, those that are selling themselves or selling their service. You are in one of the most difficult industries on the planet. So though we often compare ourselves and say funny things like, well, I'm not a brain surgeon. True, but you are still, selling yourself is very, very, very difficult. And if you can do that, you can do a lot of other things in other industries as well. But that was just a bonus to today's episode, a bonus encouragement. But today I want to talk about assuming things, especially when you're talking to clients. Now, we could talk about assuming the paint has been polished or hasn't been polished, or assume the car has been detailed or has not been detailed, or assume that the car has soft paint, or assume that the car has hard paint. We could do assuming all day long. But the thing that you don't want to do is assume something when it comes to your customer's perception of what service you're going to perform. So be careful not to assume or have your customer assume that you're going to be performing a service that you don't think you're going to be performing. So this can deal with paint correction or paint polishing or waxing a car or shampooing a mat or cleaning a door panel or removing an odor or not removing an odor or doing a full detail or doing a car wash, which has happened to me a lot in the past. So as we know, all this kind of detailer lingo terminology things can be really loosely used outside of the detail realm. Sure, if I'm talking to you and you're a detailer, when I say, hey, I want to clay bar my car, you know exactly what that means. But to a lot of customers, they assume clay barring a car with removing scratches. Okay, so if a customer says, oh, I want my car clayed, and I don't clarify what they mean by that, and I'm assuming that they just want the roughness taken out of their car, or they got overspray on it, and I'm assuming that, but to them, claying means that you're going to remove that paint transfer on the back, there's an issue there. There needs to be clarification there. And this can really get you into trouble when it comes to setting prices and expectations. If the customer says, oh, I want my car waxed with a machine, or I'm having even trouble coming up with these terminologies because I obviously know what the proper terminology is. But say they I want my car polished. That's a real generic term. I want my car polished. Well, that could mean anything from a hand wax to a full correction, and they're just using this general term polish. And so you have to really dumb down and clarify, and this is where educating your customers becomes a great sales point and skill that kind of takes a lot of experience to hone completely. But I've had customers call me and say, oh, I want my car real detailed, real nice, real blah, 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 blah. And when I kind of work through the process with them, I come to find out they just want a really good car wash, Or I even say things like, oh, do you want your carpets cleaned? Oh, yeah, I want my carpets cleaned. Well, they just want them vacuumed. They don't want them shampooed. Or they do want them shampooed and not just vacuumed. So there's all these variables that really go into the detail process and really into the sales process of selling each detail. And this is stuff that really never gets talked about, and real life stuff that never gets discussed as to how do I handle this when I come across these situations. So I'm glad that we're talking about it today. But if you always think about the word assume, ASSUME, and you break it down, never assume, because assuming makes an ass out of you and me. ASSUME. Sure, it's corny. Sure, it's super kind of weird. But if you always remember that, not even an acronym, but if you always remember that, you will never have a problem assuming. That's my quick tip for today, guys. Don't assume, always clarify. Don't make an ass out of you and me.
Today's sponsor of the show is Bluehost. Bluehost offers domains and hosting. If you're looking at buying a domain name or hosting your current domain name, head on over to autodetailingpodcast.com/website. I've worked out a deal with Bluehost for special discounts and offers for Auto Detailing Podcast listeners, and it also helps me out too. Gives me a little bit of kickback for each one of you that sign up through that website, autodetailingpodcast.com/website, where you can get a free domain name with a hosting plan. So head on over to autodetailingpodcast.com/website and pick up that free domain with any hosting package. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Auto Detailing Podcast. Head on over to autodetailingpodcast.com for full show notes and links of everything that we've talked about today. And don't forget to check out our resources page for a direct link to all the products talked about not only on today's episode, but that I use in my day-to-day detail business. They have direct links so you can purchase and get free shipping right from that page. That's autodetailingpodcast.com. We'll see you on the next episode.